I am soon migrating to Vietnam. It is March 28th, 2025. Since a few days ago, I have been preparing my permanent migration to Vietnam. Vietnam is a country of heroes who fought for their liberty against more than one colonizing countries, and they won. The Vietnamese are kind, friendly and humane. One of them, the Dr. Tran Back Fong, came to Greece few years ago, and heroically and contrary to the Greek colonizing mafia, he kept rescuing from the Greeks those, including me, which the Greek Mafia had victimized, until this murderous subworld employed the Russian Mafia and assassinated him. The Vietnamese Dr. Tran Back Fong didn't give up until the end. Vietnam is free, and thus my fleeing there is a risky choice, because the Americans and co, they shall not be able anymore to Gang-Stalk and in any other ways control me, and thus I shall be able, for example, by resorting to X-ray imaging to make evidence of my having been illegally implanted with microchips and of my having been a victim of other forms of human trafficking also. I shall be free to convey towards the Vietnam's leadership all of my knowledge about the settler colonialism vulnerabilities, as I have studied them during my being one of its victims during the past more than 47 years. Simultaneously, my leaving from Europe shall be also liberating, as the total of the European authorities, they do not pronounce not even one word about the publicly proven genocides in Europe, of the so-called psychiatry crimes genocide, of the cancer patient genocide, of the mind control genocide, etc. And thus, these generalized and extreme violations of human rights, they seemingly designate the European continent as a kind of a modern gulag. It is an historical fact that whenever any of their victims try to liberate himself, the Americans and co become, literally or not, a kind of mad dogs, and thus they most likely are going to ruthlessly hunt me. However, I shall do my best to legitimately self-defend myself from these monsters and flee safe and sound to Vietnam. Christos Boumpoulis.